Nobody warned me that after you lose everything, the hardest part isn't rebuilding the money. It's giving yourself permission to want more than just okay again. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why you've been capping your own comeback without realizing it, and the one shift that lets you expand past survival mode for good, whether you moved anywhere or not. After the real estate collapse in '08, after I drained the $40,000 in retirement and the $50,000 in savings, after the bankruptcy in 2010, I told myself one thing: never again. Just get stable. Just don't lose it again. You've got too much to lose. It sounds responsible. It's actually a trap, and it took me a decade to see it clearly. Just don't lose it again became the ceiling on everything I built after that. I built the travel company, over $1 million a year in revenue, and I still ran it scared. Never expanded the way it could have gone because some part of me was still protecting against 2008. Then COVID took it away. All that caution didn't save it. It just meant I built smaller than I could have, and it still collapsed regardless of how carefully I'd played it. Then came the fund, the real estate fund. Close to $500,000 of investor money gone when the Fed's rate hikes moved faster than the fund's positions could adjust. 3 collapses now, and in every single one, the caution I thought that was protecting me never actually stopped the loss. It only shrank what I built in the meantime. I used to think playing it safe after a loss was the mature move. What I actually did was build smaller, quieter, and more scared each time. And none of it made the next collapse less likely. It just made the years in between less than they could have been. That's the part that finally broke through for me. Here's what 3 losses taught me. Playing small doesn't protect you from the loss. It just guarantees you build less before the loss finds you anyway. So point 1, survival mode becomes an identity if you stay in it too long. It stops being a temporary state and starts being who you think you are. I'm just trying to get by becomes the whole story, long after the crisis that created it is gone. I said that sentence to myself for years after 2008, right up until I realized the crisis had ended in 2010. And I was still saying it in 2018 and 2019, still bracing for a version of the collapse that had already happened and finished. Nobody diagnoses this in themselves. It usually takes someone else pointing it out at how long ago the actual danger has already passed. Survival mode has an expiration date. Most men never check whether theirs has already passed. Point 2. Somewhere along the way, you were taught that wanting more after you've already lost big is greedy or reckless. It's not. Wanting more isn't what caused the collapse. The absence of a second income, a real plan, a support system underneath you, that's what caused it. Wanting more done with structure is exactly what rebuilds it. I had to separate those two things consciously. The wanting wasn't the mistake. The lack of a floor underneath the wanting was the mistake. The guilt you feel about wanting more isn't wisdom. It's just fear wearing a responsible sounding disguise. So point 3, expansion isn't recklessness. Recklessness is what got some of us into trouble in the first place. Over leveraging, chasing rates, moving too fast without a floor underneath. Expansion is different. It's designed growth. With a floor already built, moving forward on purpose instead of freezing in place out of fear. Here's the distinction in practice. Reckless is doubling your exposure on a hunch. Expansion is adding a second income stream while keeping the first one running. Testing before you commit. Building the floor before you build the next floor on top of it. Point 4, redefine enough on purpose and upward. If your definition of enough was set the year you were drowning, It's outdated. I had to consciously raise mine after the fund collapsed. Not to some fantasy number, but to a number that reflected what I'd actually rebuilt. The skill and the right to earn it. For years, my version of enough was just not losing anything else. That's not a goal. That's a defensive crouch mistaken for a plan. You don't drift into a bigger enough. You have to decide it on a specific day on purpose. And this is that day. Point 5, small compounding wins are what give you permission to expand, not one big leap. The second income stream, the first $1,000 saved back, the first month the plan actually worked. Each one is proof you're allowed to want the next size up. I didn't wake up one day suddenly confident. I collected small proofs, one at a time, until the evidence outweighed the fear. Each one made the next size of ambition feel less like recklessness and more like the obvious next step. None of this means forgetting what those 3 losses taught me. The caution isn't the enemy. Unexamined caution that never gets updated is the enemy. There's a difference between a floor you built on purpose and a ceiling you never noticed you installed. This video is about finding out which one you're actually standing under right now. So if you're ready to stop capping yourself, the free 30-day rebuild blueprint gives you the exact structure to expand without repeating the mistakes that got you here. A link for that is in the description and the pinned comment. Just download it and get started. And then hit subscribe right now. This channel posts every Monday and Thursday specifically for men who are rebuilding after losing everything. And if that's you, you belong right here in our tribe of warriors. And then share this with a man who's been quietly capping himself, calling it responsible. And let's rebuild together, because as always, that's wealth mode.